Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on what part of the world you're joining us from. My name is Brenda Unu, and I'm super excited to have you here today. Okay, I see that we're live now. So happy holidays if you're in Nigeria. I'm sure you're enjoying the rest day. If you're not in Nigeria, sorry, we had two full days of bank holiday in addition to the weekend. It was the best. Absolutely the best. If you're not in Nigeria, sorry, you missed. But if you're in Nigeria, I'm sure you're still chilling, having a lazy day, but tomorrow is work. So get up and start getting busy. With me here today is my amazing guest, Eniola Peters. First of all, welcome to April. Welcome to April. It's a new month. I had fun today doing April Fool on my group members. It was so much fun. In fact, I did it on two main people. Apart from the group members, the other April Fool I did was to my graphics guy. He was expecting me to send him some money. So I sent him that transaction alert. He was like, oh, thank you, ma.
Ah,
I said, open it now. Which one is just thank you, ma? He now opened it. He's like, you got me this one, coach. So I felt so good. It's been a long time. I did April Fool. So anyway, it just reminds us that we're into the month of April, and on Women's Matters, our theme for the month will be growing in grace. So basically, we've talked about in January, we're talking about goals and all of those visions and set the pace for the year. In February was the love month, talked about relationships in the family, love in the family, with your spouse, with your children, with, all other people around. And in March, it was Women's Month. So we're talking about all things women and just basically empowerment. And now we're in the month of April. My goodness, the year is running very fast. I was like, which day did we say Happy New Year here? And it's already April. But here we are, and we're talking about growing in grace, and no better way to kickstart this conversation than talking about emotional intelligence. So, first of all, I would like to welcome my guest again, Eniola Peters. And we do it on the show. We ask you to toot your own horn, tell us who you are, and why we should be excited to listen to you this evening. Go ahead. Welcome, Eniola. Thank you for
thank
joining
you
us.
so much, Brenda, for having me. It's always a pleasure watching you and seeing how consistent you are with the Women Growth Academy and how you are consistent with your Tuesdays and Tuesdays and Tuesdays. I'm like, that kind of reassurance that even when you're sleeping, 7 p.m. on Tuesday, Brenda is live. So thank you for that. I'm learning from you. Well, my name is Eniola
Thank you.
Peters, and I am an HR consultant and a career development consultant. I like to say basically I'm interested in helping women and youth generally become the best version of themselves. So when it comes to finding the right jobs, when it comes to behaving well, when it comes to having sense, I am that person that that can see you and
Mm,
want to correct you or want to help you or want to help you find a focus and help you find the right job or help
mm,
you just help you and empower you basically. I have a community for women
right.
also, the Women in Career Advancement Network. Basically, here what we do is help women, mentor them, give them trainings on how they can get better jobs, understand where they are. And interestingly, I am actually working on a new book I call The Career Smart Woman. Brenda is my mentor when it comes to book writing. I give it to her.
Love
And,
it.
I'm writing a new book and I'm going on Saturday. And basically, it's helping women becoming
Wow.
career smart. It's not enough to just work in an organization. As women, we have the tendency of
Mhm.
being emotional and all that. So the book is meant to empower women to let them become the best version of themselves, even in the workplace. Coming from someone that was once a not so smart in a career, and when I mean in a career, it
Mm,
wasn't because I didn't know what I needed to do or how I needed to go about it, but it was more from the place of I was, just being a woman in the workplace. So
mm,
yes,
mm.
that's basically me. I wasn't emotional intelligent. I was not. I don't know how to put it, but yeah.
I
Um,
know.
but that's me. And right now, today, I'm helping women become the best version of themselves. So yes.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm already excited about the new book, so we can't wait to have it and, of course, celebrate with you. I mean, this thing you just said is really, really, I think it's going to dovetail into my next question, which is what I always ask people. Why did you pick the topic that you picked? Because, typically how we get our guests I always share with you. I mean, I have a list of topics I share with my communities, my friends, my networks, and I say to them, okay, guys, I know you guys are super smart women. Pick the topic that best resonates with you. And then not just jumped and pick this topic. I'm like, madam, why this so? That's always the first question I'll ask you after you took your own. Tell us, why were you drawn to this topic? And why do you think why do you think that you're the person to take it? What attracted you? Tell me, tell me. You're muted on that device. You're muted.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so yesterday I was thinking about it while I was preparing for this session, and I'm like, wait, oh, what's wrong with me and emotional intelligence these days? Like, it's just been drawing my attention. Because yesterday I was also on the radio talking about career smart woman, and the anchor was really hammering on emotional intelligence, and I'm like, wait, what's going on?
Critical. Mhm, mhm,
But then I realized that I think it also comes from the place of someone that was not emotionally intelligent at a point, and then realizing it that really this can affect a lot of things. Because most times as women, because
mhm,
naturally the way God created us, we are emotional beings, and we
mm,
tend to put our emotions out there first before thinking of every other person. Women, we think of me, 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 me. Sometimes we are too aware of ourselves that we are not concerned about every other person. We're not concerned about what our husbands feel, what our friends feel. It's just about me. When you talk about friendships having issues, is women. When you talk about women snatching husbands, is women. When you talk about somebody that went outside to slap somebody, it is women. When you talk about so many things that could have easily been emotionally managed, it's still us.
mm,
So as women,
mm,
it is important to understand that even though we're emotionally created, we're emotional beings, we should be able to manage that emotions, understand that it is not just about us, it is about the other people as well. So I think the passion really to just put sense into people, to make women realize that, see, it's not about you, it's nothing personal. I think that's what
yeah,
drew me to the topic, and that's what has been drawing me to the topic. Women need to
I
have
love it.
sense.
I love it. And I mean, I love the way you're just very direct about it. That listen, you need to have sense because I mean, some people would be triggered by that word. What do you mean? Do you mean we don't have sense? But I love it. And sometimes we need to hear those triggering words to stand up and realize that, okay, this thing you're doing is not making sense, girl. Give yourself some
Mhm.
brain and get going. And I love the
Yeah,
way that, because you're a HR professional, you're tying it to career coaching and all of that. It's really very important. I mean, as a career woman myself, I know what it means to go to the workplace and not be emotionally smart and just throw yourself and do all of those things that you feel as if you're in your bedroom. I mean, I tell women all the time, the young women that I mentor, they say, oh, I don't like this person doesn't like me. I'm like, hello, they're not here to like you, okay? Go and find your like and love in your family. These people here are here to
right.
do it. Get the job done and you will get all you need. There's no need for love. If you find someone that likes you in the office, it's a plus, but it is not a requirement. You are there to do a job, so do the job. And as much as possible, so I just pack your emotions in your at your gates, literally, right? That's where
Yeah.
you'll be asking for love in your father's house or in your husband's house. Don't come and to disturb us here. This is a job, please. So great. I mean,
Right.
it's part of making sense, it's part of having sense, and I'll start using that one now. I love it. Okay. So today we're talking about, developing emotional intelligence and having how it helps you to get better relationships. So how do you
Mhm.
think we should start this conversation? Where do you want to start from? Because you're the leader, or you're the one leading. I'm just here to, you know, guide the conversation. So tell us where we want to start this from.
Okay, so I think I'm just going to start by defining what emotional intelligence is and then what emotions is. Because, yes, we say women are emotional beings. So, yes, what does it mean to be an emotional person? Basically, emotions simply means how we feel based on our situation, based on our circumstances, the things that the conditions around us has helped us, has tuned us into. So you feel a certain way, you feel depressed because you don't like something that happened around you, or you feel unhappy because maybe somebody spoke to you in a way you don't like to be spoken to. How do you know you don't like to be spoken to that way? It is based on your experiences, based on your background and all that. So emotions are formed like our belief. Emotions are formed like our self-belief, like our social belief, like the things you believe in. Your emotions are formed that way. So you see typically someone that grew up being talked down on would have a low self-esteem. That is an emotion that was built as a
Mm.
result of the person's background. So yes, that is what emotions means. So emotions is not a cast in stone. You can say I feel happy now, and then in the next 3 minutes something happens and then you're sad. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right, great. So you can say, oh, I feel happy just now, and then why? Because they're just emotions. And the interesting part is emotions are just fleeting. It's not permanent. It's not permanent.
Mm.
Emotions can change. The way
Okay, hello. Are you there? I think we lost her for a minute. I need to be sure it is me. I, it's not me that is lost or it's her. But anyway, I think she'll be back soon. So basically, we've been talking about emotions. If you can hear us on the YouTube, please say hi and let's know where you're joining us from. Okay, she's back.
okay, yes, I'm back, sis. Sorry, network. Okay, so I said, okay, just like now, let me tell you the emotions I felt. I felt anxious for a second because the
Mm-hmm.
internet went off, and then I controlled it. I did like, calm down. You can't control this
Yeah,
situation. And I felt good about it. I'm like, okay, well, it worked out at the end of the day. So that's just my
absolutely.
simple explanation to say that is what emotions are. They are fleeting. They can come now and they can go now. Now, let's talk about
Absolutely.
emotional intelligence now. Now, what I just practiced again is emotional intelligence, understanding that this thing I just did is beyond my control. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
intelligent and I'm trying to find a solution to it. Now, no matter how much you try to look at it, some can call it, oh, you're patient or you're peaceful or you're relaxed. It's still all an emotion.
Question. Yeah.
Yes. Now, so being emotionally intelligent simply means you are able to recognize how you feel, you're able to understand how you feel, and you're able to manage how you feel while
Mm,
recognizing and understanding and influencing the emotions of the other people that you're relating with. Now,
mm.
maybe I should take that again.
You need to take
Emotional
that again.
intelligence,
Absolutely.
it's the ability to recognize how you feel, understand how
Mm-hmm.
you feel, and manage
Mm-hmm.
your emotions. Now, while
Mm,
still recognizing how other people feel, while
mm,
understanding how they feel, and
mm,
influencing the emotions of others. Now, I'll put an
mm.
example to it now. I was anxious
Okay.
because internet went off. And the only thing I'm thinking of is, gosh, I hope I've not spoiled Brenda's session. That is me
Mm,
understanding. Now, coming back online, the first thing I said is, oh, I'm sorry, it's internet. Now, you didn't ask me to
mm,
apologize. I recognized your emotions and I apologize for
mm.
it because I'm trying to manage your emotions. That is basically emotional
Right.
intelligence. I knew how I felt and I knew how you would feel. I was trying to
Mm,
give excuses for you. That is how to manage relationships. Now, there was a friend of mine that did something for me 5 years ago. I didn't even
mm.
remember. And okay, I was having an event and she invited a lot of people to attend the event without even knowing
Ah,
me closely.
in
So
this
after the
Lagos.
event, I got her. I'm telling you, I got her number and I just said, thank you so much. Even though you don't know me, you invited people and all that. That thing stayed with her because in her
Mm,
mind, I met her emotional tank. Like I was
mm,
able
mm,
to do, like, you don't even know me and you're saying thank you. And I'm like, you too, you
Mm,
don't know me. So I recognized how I felt happy,
mm,
content, glad. Then I reciprocated it. And by saying thank you, she also felt happy, glad that
mm,
next time I'll do it for this girl. I mean, you know that proverb, that adage that says, if you say
mm.
thank you, it will come back to you again. Or if
Yeah.
you're grateful or something, that's
Mm-hmm.
basically what emotional intelligence basically is. Now, having
Yeah.
defined emotional intelligence, now let me leave you to. Do you have any questions? Should I just continue?
I mean, I like what you were saying. I've always thought about it as a case of regulating your own emotions, right? But I loved your definition because it went further to talk about even recognizing the other person's emotions. And I mean, that's next level stuff, man. Because think about it. We're here trying to grapple with our own emotions. I'm basically always thinking about emotional intelligence as my responses, right? Controlling my responses, even regardless of how I feel. And now I understand why I have to control my responses because it's basically about the other person, right? Making sure that you are not, hampering on the other person's feeling, understanding how they would feel, and also making sure that they feel better about themselves. I mean, I think it's really, really beautiful. And that's a definition I would like to write down, and take away from here. So thank you so much for that. Please go ahead.
All right, great. So now that we know what emotional intelligence is, how does it affect our relationships and how does it make us have better relationships? Now, using the biblical
Yeah.
scripture, the scripture that was attached to this message says, be quick to hear, be slow to speak, and then slow to anger. That's James 1:19. It's the same thing as listen, don't judge. However,
Mm,
if you have to judge, make sure that you're trying to
mm,
judge, you're on the right path. Because the Bible even says it. Is it the Bible? I don't know. Is it a proverb that says if you want to throw stones, make sure you don't stay in a glass house, so that when the stone
right.
comes back, the repercussion will not be much more. And that is
Mm,
basically what
yeah,
emotional
that's a
intelligence
proverb.
in a relationship does. You understand? Like before, I can condemn my friend for
I hope
doing
it's not
something.
going off this time.
Can you hear me?
I can hear
All
you
right.
now. I can hear
Okay,
you.
great. So this network, I bind you in Jesus' name. Okay. So,
Honestly.
so basically it's more like if I'm in a friendship or have a friend or I'm in a relationship now, I
Mm,
do things because I understand how it matters to my friend. And it's
right.
not spoiling. Some people say, oh, you're spoiling the person. No. I want you to do what matters to me, and I want to do what matters to you. And that is how we
Mm,
can meet in the middle and help each other become the best version of ourselves. Now, I'll give an example. A friend walks up to you and says, uh, Eniola, I just did, or Brenda, I just did something really bad. And you're like, hey, how could you? That's not emotional intelligence. Because at the end of the day, the person might not come back, or the person might be feeling condemned and will never come back to
mm,
you.
mm,
You think, oh, you are reprimanding the person. There's time for everything. There's a time to reprimand, and there's a time to love and, okay, say sorry, calm down. Then after a while, you
mm,
can now
mm.
say, but you to try, you shouldn't have done that. That is emotional intelligence. And,
Right.
that is how to manage your emotions and manage the emotions of other people. So I'm going to just say a few things, talking about emotional intelligence, we have the different cardinals of emotional intelligence: the self awareness, the self regulation, the
Mm,
empathy,
mm,
motivation, and then the social skills. Now, everything still comes intertwined. Like, we can't run away from all of them, because if you're emotionally intelligent, you have to show empathy. You have to know what
right.
these other people is feeling. You have to be able to develop your self motivation and talk to yourself. So I'm just going to run through it, right?
Give me
Okay,
a
so the
second.
first.
Before you
All
start,
right, ma'am.
before you start,
Yes. Mm.
I wanted to tell you that I had sent you the YouTube link to your WhatsApp. So maybe if you can take your phone and forward it to your group.
Yes, I'd already even done that. I went to YouTube straight to get
Oh,
it
you
while
you
we're
found
talking.
it. Okay.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, I
my own
follow
YouTube
through.
was not it wasn't loading, so I was confused. Like, are you sure we're live? But anyway, so
Oh,
great.
okay. I already
You
found
can
it. Yes, yes. People have already
okay,
joined. Some
awesome.
of them have joined.
All right,
Okay, great.
awesome. So let's
So,
hear it. I mean, those four or five things you named just now, can you take them again, please?
okay, so we have the self-awareness, which is being
Okay.
aware of your emotions. Then we have the self-regulation, which means
Mm,
managing your emotions. Then we have the self-motivation, which is managing and being able to motivate yourself without any other person motivating you. Like David
mm,
encouraged himself in the Lord. Then
mm,
empathy, showing people empathy, understanding how they feel. I used to use this example for empathy, and I'll say, imagine, you're driving on the road in Lagos. We know how Lagos drivers
mm.
can be, and then one guy just drove one mad driving, like just drove and threw you off the way. Instead of
Mm.
start cursing and all that, what I usually do, I just say, "Oh, maybe he wants to pee, maybe the wee wee has gotten to the tip, basically just giving it for the person, like, okay,
Giving
or maybe he got that,
excuses.
maybe is rushing somebody to the hospital, is emotional intelligence, so that I will not be
Mm.
doing unnecessary things, because insulting the person is going to add to my headache rather than make me feel
Right.
better about it. That is emotional intelligence. So now let me start with the self-awareness. So self-awareness is
Okay.
basically understanding your emotions, how they impact your behavior, paying
Mm.
attention to how you feel in different situations. A lot of times we have been brought up to deny our feelings. We have been brought up to deny
Mm.
exactly how we feel per time. So when the
Mm.
emotions come, we're denying it. You're angry and you're not able to say it out that you're angry.
Because
I was
because the
recently
person is older
talking,
than you, or because you're not supposed to say, you're not supposed to be angry, or
you're not
if you're a
supposed to
boy,
say
you're not
you're
supposed to
angry.
be cry. Mm.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. So you're in denial. I was recently talking to a friend of mine that was married, and she's really angry with her husband. And
Mm.
sis, I had to ask her, have you told him you're angry? She said, are we allowed to tell our husbands that we're angry? I said,
Oh wow. Oh
you're
wow.
denying your emotions and it is affecting your day-to-day life. Everything you're doing, the
Mm.
way you're behaving towards him is in anger and you're denying it. You need to
Mm.
come out. If you're angry, pause, think, what caused this? But you're
Mm.
in denial. Most people are in denial. We just say, oh, we're not
Mm.
angry. I'm just not happy with what he did. Instead of you to face the anger and break it down, let us settle it once
Head
and for
on.
all.
Let's let them scatter everywhere. Then
Let's
we
get
settle
it
it back.
away, you know. And one of the ways to be
Oh my
self-aware
God. Do
is,
not do this, do
for
not do
instance,
this at home. Oh. I didn't send you that
so for instance, you're angry
one.
and you need to ask yourself, why am I even angry? What happened? Try to analyze the
Mm.
situation. Was I at fault? You know, Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is it because anger makes me? So, for instance, for me now, at the end of every night, I sit down, I analyze the day. What did I say? What did I say? What should I have said? What shouldn't I have
Mm.
said? The people I feel, oh, maybe I oversaid some things
Mm.
too. I reach out
Mm.
and just see, okay, are we good? The things that people I feel I didn't say some things to, I try to respond just to say, oh, I'm
Mm.
sorry if I didn't respond to you, because I know that if it is me, somebody ignored or did something to, I will feel bad about it. That is self awareness. Every one of us should practice it.
Yeah.
Journal, self reflect, pray, be
Yeah.
mindful. The Bible says, search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thought. Why? So that I
Mm.
can be more aware of myself. That is self awareness, and it is so important. Now,
Mm.
moving to the second one, which is the self regulation. Now, you know yourself. Now, how do you manage your emotions effectively to respond rather than react? A lot of us react, we don't respond. When
Mm.
somebody says there's some, there's someone that reached out to me today and just what my response says in my head, if I had responded, would have caused fight. I
You
paused.
scattered
I just said,
everywhere.
no,
Mhm.
I just said I'm not responding. And then 2 hours later, the person called me and said, didn't you see my message? I said, you said your wallet is too much. Leave me alone. Because I'd already
Mm.
been able to make sense to my head.
Block
Like
it in
if you
your head.
respond
Mhm.
today, that friendship is going to fight. You guys are going to fight.
Yeah,
And that is
yeah.
self-regulation, the ability to understand this is how I feel. Let me manage my emotions. This person probably doesn't even mean it. Maybe this person just is just saying it. She doesn't mean it. Do you understand? Understanding. Even the Bible says that a gentle answer turns away wrath. So that harsh words stirs up anger. But a gentle answer will
Mm.
just, sometimes you don't even need to respond. It's
Tons
not
away.
everything you need to respond to. It's not
Yeah,
everything.
absolutely.
If things happen, take a deep breath. Don't react immediately. That message that you want to respond to, don't respond to it yet. Calm down.
Something happened to me today. Something happened today. So it was so funny because in my estate, right, I'm one of the ESCO members, and somebody sent me a message to say, oh, she had this issue and all of that, and she had called the estate manager, wasn't answering. But because I'm the secretary, so I'm normally sends out notifications. So even if you don't know any other person, you will know me, right? So she sent me a message to say, oh, how can I help? And she called, and I said, oh, okay, no problem. So I went to the group that the ESCO are in, the manager, and said, this person says she has reached out to you. Why are you not dealing with it? And somebody
Mm,
else had mentioned that, oh, please, this is holiday. Please, even I said manager deserves to rest. Please, let all of us rest. And I said, yeah, but this one was complaining that she couldn't rest because her neighbor was banging on the door. He was making some repairs. And so she also wanted to rest. I mean, she also deserves rest. So we're talking about all of this. We're like, people need to be tolerant. Maybe the guy is just doing a small repair in his house that she should calm down. He'll be fine. She can't talk to him, but stop disturbing all of us. And we're just bantering. And I thought, oh, for her to reach out, we should try and help. And I was kind of on my head, like literally saying that no, 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 no. She has called this. She has gone to the guy. She's gone to the neighbor. She's called the estate manager. What else is she supposed to do? I mean, she's come to us. We must deal with it. Right now, estate manager, please give context. So he finally responds and says, "Oh, the woman has called him. He has called the neighbor. The neighbor said, oh, he's repairing his AC, and in a few hours they'll be done. That she should please bear with him." And we said, "Okay." End of story. But I felt really foolish because the way she made it sound to me was like, oh, there was construction going on, and they were always disturbing her. She had complained severally to the estate manager. He wasn't working. That's why she's coming to me. I didn't know it was a today matter. That is just today. They told the person, she has already told the guy, all of this is today. I just went and I went to her message. I went to her chat to say, like you literally got me out of everything I was doing to come and solve this problem that you had literally just mentioned. I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking you didn't even have any patience to allow the system to take its course. We were rushing to escalate it to me. And me too, I ran, carried the matter on my head. I was almost asking people inside the ESCO self on your behalf, only just to hear that it's just a repair. It's not a construction and all of that. I finished typing it, my sister. And I realized that, okay, so what does this thing gain for me now? As in, I typed in my anger. And what does this thing? And thank God for slow network. Didn't deliver immediately. I just deleted it. I just
oh
I
my
just- and what would it profit her now? What will it profit me now? This is my venting. What has he achieved? I just really felt stupid because I was, no, no. She talked to me. She told me that she's done this, she's done that. So we have to help her. Only to find out that Auntie was just impatient, you know. And I
God.
almost really upset because I almost called another ESCO member because that was when the matter came, she said, people should be more tolerant. She should go and talk to her neighbor, she leave the boss alone. I said, no, she talked to the neighbor already, she talked to the already. I mean, she's done what she can. I mean, for her to escalate it, that was like, are you sure? Look, I know people, you know. So from I think I was feeling foolish that I was wrong. Do you see?
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
that's what now translated to me, you know, riling at her. I think it was my feel of because I was really on the matter. I said, no, that's not the case. She said to me that it was a construction. She called me on the phone. She told me this. I probably misunderstood what she was saying, right? I don't think
Hmm.
she specifically said it was a construction. I remember her using the word construction, but she said, do we not have specific days that construction is not allowed? for example, weekends and holiday. So
all-
I just assumed it was a construction going on. Do you see? So in all of this assumption and everything, I got riled up, and I was not going to go and pour
mm.
anger on someone that did not really. She wasn't because of
I
my
did not say
anger. Do you see? Oh God. I just thought you're only worsening the situation. Just go and delete that. And I quickly deleted it and I took a deep breath. I told myself, okay, it's fine. It's really, really fine. And so
anything.
this conversation today is really for me. I'm just laughing because I'm like, you should have been able to control
Honestly,
emotions.
honestly, it's so important to just take a deep breath first. Try and understand because we sometimes,
Mm,
based on your emotions per time, talking about based on how you feel per time, you're tempted to respond immediately because of how you feel. Now, if you calm down and
mm,
reread that message in another 2 3 hours, the feeling you got the first time you read it can't be the
mm.
same because now you're having a better understanding, like, oh, this is not what this person means.
You guys,
And that is one of that's why it's self-regulation is so important, and it works in everywhere, in marriage, at work, with your friends, everywhere. Try and calm down first. There was
mm,
something I learned, from my mom when we were young. If she's angry
mm,
with my dad, the moment my dad walks in, she's not going to say anything. She's going to welcome him, give him his
mm,
food, make sure he's okay. Then in the night, when everybody has
mm,
slept, that is, as far as me
mm,
I'm concerned, that's self-regulation. Like, I have kept this
mm,
thing. Let me not do attack. Then in the night, let us talk. And it made
mm,
sense to me. Like,
mm,
it's not like, oh, you're angry with your husband. The moment you just enter, say, you, how dare you do that? Blah, blah, blah. Some of us, we still need work to do. You know, we still have a lot of
mm,
work to do on that. So
mm.
yes, that's the
I
second.
know, I know, I know, I know. It is very, very important. I mean, your mom deserves sainthood right now because, like, which woman do you know that
I'm
typically
telling
would
you,
be able to, hold those emotions in, give you food, welcome you, when you have annoyed me, sorry, the
I'm
word will hear.
telling you. And she does it. She did it every time we didn't even know. We always don't know. It's only in the night when we're hearing the arguments that we now say, this woman. And she used to do it for us. If we're outside and people report us to her, like, oh, your child did this or your child did that, she'll tell them, no, they shouldn't touch her children. Da, 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 da. She's sorry, she will apologize. But the moment you're entering inside that house, hey, fire upon fire. Ha, you're in trouble. And to me, I felt, okay, that's an emotionally intelligent woman because she felt if she chastises us outside, those people would think they have the right to chastise us. So she's giving
Yeah,
them, no, 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 stay in your lane. Let me do this myself. And that is one key, element of emotional intelligence.
right.
Yes. So let me just continue, right? Okay, so the next one is motivation. Now, having a purpose driven emotional response rooted
Mm,
in love and growth. That is
mm,
motivation. Your purpose driven emotional response. Like, somebody comes to you and says, hey, sis Brenda, did you hear this person, this person, this person? You are not going to gossip about this thing, but you're not going to
mm,
say, please, I beg, I'm not interested. Your
mm.
response has to be part of your purpose. Like, it's your response will be more like, I understand what you're saying, but you know what? I think we should talk about something else. So the person does not feel bad. At the same time, you're emotionally responding to that person in a very lovely and sweet way that the person doesn't feel it.
Yeah.
That is it.
Like, don't go and damn the person. Say, please, I don't do gossip. Pack yourself to another side.
And do you
But you would
understand?
still have delivered the message. The person would have known when they will get him, they will think about it, realize that this babe just
She,
changed topic
she
on me,
should not
shall.
be one to
Okay, no
exactly.
problem. No
Do
problem,
you
no
understand?
problem.
So I have a friend, this girl, when you say, okay, maybe you just say, hey, did you hear about? She just say, well, my sister, everybody has their thing they are going through in this life. Oh. Well, have you heard about this thing, this thing, this thing? Have you applied for this thing? That's how she moves. She just changes the conversation without you won't even notice that this girl has just
Mm,
cut you off from
mm,
gossiping. And that is it.
mm,
In
mm,
love, when somebody does something wrong, you correct them in love. You know, even
Absolutely.
the Bible says that let all that you do be done in love. It's basic.
Mm.
So it's not strife. I'm not being, proud. I'm not arrogant. I'm not saying I don't gossip, I don't this, I don't that.
Yeah.
But please, can we do this thing in love? Can we just manage ourselves and just do this thing in love? Now, that is under self-motivation. Now,
Mm.
basically, self-motivation under emotional intelligence also means staying positive when things are tough, which is
Yeah.
usually very, you need to be able to tell yourself that even though things are tough, even though I am angry, even though it doesn't look good. So, like for instance, some people are fighting with their husbands in the house. Everybody outside the
Mm.
house will know. I had a boss
Yeah.
once that told me that if you're having problems in your home, as you're entering this office, let the problem stay there. When you're going back, you can pick it up
Remain
back.
at your
Or,
gates.
yeah, or you can come to this office and, focus, stay positive. But some people don't know how to do
Function
it.
well.
The fight
Mhm.
will affect the children, will affect the friends, will affect
Don't-
everything. Self motivate. Self motivate. You need to
Yeah.
develop it. Practice gratitude. You know, think of good things. Think of things that are working.
Mm.
Even when things don't look like everything is working, think of things that are working. Set personal goals to grow emotionally.
Yeah.
Basically, just self motivate yourself. Then the
True.
next one is empathy. Now, talking about empathy, we all hear empathy, oh, have empathy, empathize with people, and all those
Mm.
things. Yes, some people have bastardized it, but
Mm.
empathy is still empathy. Like I said, I'll give excuse for people before they even tell me what is wrong. Because
Yeah.
really, I want to believe that nobody in their right senses want to hurt you. And that is
Mm.
being emotionally intelligent. I don't want to believe that you wake up in the morning and just want to hurt me. Or I don't want to believe that you wake up in the morning and your sole purpose in life is to make Eniola sad. It's not
When, when,
possible.
when you're not sent by your father, the devil.
I'm telling you, So, number one thing is understanding and sharing the feelings of others. How do they feel? Like, why did this person say this thing to me? Is it because it
Mm.
is true or because this person is hurting somewhere,
Mm.
somewhere? Like they say, hurting people hurt people, you know?
Mm.
Put yourself
Mm.
in their shoes and try to understand how people feel. So the fact that they talk to you somehow, your friend is angry with you, and somebody reached out to me, I was saying something, and then I had to ask her, how do you think this other person is feeling?
Mm.
You can't just think he just woke up one day and just wants to hate you. He's probably growing through stuff, and you're
Yeah.
not adding your own on top of it. Calm down. It's not about you alone. And that's number one thing emotional intelligence stands for. It's not really about you, it's
Mm.
about the people you're dealing with. Understand how they feel, empathize with them, you know,
Mm.
understand them that they too they are going through things as much as you're going through things.
Yeah.
Listen, practice active listening. Like you're not just hearing, you are listening to what they are not even saying. Validate
Mm.
people's emotions. Be compassionate because everybody is going through stuff. Everybody's going through stuff. So you need to show that, okay, see, guy, I understand how you're feeling and I really want to be there for you. If somebody
Mm.
didn't wish me happy birthday before when I was younger, if you don't wish me happy birthday, hey,
You have marked the person.
I will mark you the day. I had a friend that every year, then when we are growing up, she wishes me birthday 2 days after my birthday. She would just send me happy birthday. So me too, and I started doing it to her. That 2 days
2 days
after our
after
own
how,
birthday, I will do it. And later I now
like
thought about it. I'm
you will
like,
count it. You'll be actually be counting for
yes,
oh
sis,
God.
I was always doing it. I had to down, I said, I never calm down now. It's not because she's doing it on purpose. She usually always forgets. And then, so most times
Mm.
on my birthday, I'll now send her a message. I say, Auntie, today is my birthday. She'll say, hey, I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me. And that is it. Empathy, understanding the people around you to know that whatever they are doing, sometimes it's not even because they want to be wicked to you or because they
Yeah.
don't love you. It's just simply because they have things they are going through, emotional intelligence.
Mm.
And then the next one is the social skills, building strong relationships by communicating effectively,
Mm.
managing conflict properly, do unto others as you want them to do to you. Social skills. If you know you
Mm.
don't want to go for anybody's birthday, don't invite anybody for your birthday. It's
Mm.
as simple as that. So it's not that you now invite people and then you now say they did not show up. Nature will not make them show up because you don't go for their own.
That's why my husband does not do small party. He goes to everybody's own. Like, I'm not even joking. Everybody's own. Like, he will say, "Oh, my friend is." I said, "Which friend is this one again? This one, this one is doing this one. This one's father died. Hey, this one's mother. Hey, this one is doing 50th birthday." Everybody's your friend, sir. If he wants to not do birthday, wahala, will not be thinking, "Hey, who will not call?" They'll be annoyed. Oh, hey, this people. When I say, how would they not be annoyed? When you carry their matter on your head, you went all the way to their village to go and do burial, and they will be annoyed there because they will think you are close and tight now. Now, see wahala now. You have become close and tight to the whole world. See me see trouble.
Oh
But
my
I mean, and I
goodness.
say to him
Yes.
that listen, the day that you have any big events like you know a child wedding, a parent dying, anything, the hall will not contain people. Oh, sure, just start preparing yourself because the number of people you have done
Yes.
for. Goodness. So I do believe in that respect, and truly, 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 I've seen it happen so many times. He always has people show up for him. And so I've even tried to start to do it myself. There was a time I couldn't be bothered, to be honest. I was telling myself, is it one cup of rice? I want to go and eat your party, please. I'd rather just sleep at home. And it was my mom that brought that cup of rice thing to me. She said, somebody will travel from Ikoyi to Korodu for one cup of rice. Please, 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 I beg, just send the person money. But I realized that, it's not money is not everything, right? Presence is also important. People, because if somebody did a whole full party and everybody sends money and nobody showed up, who will eat their food? How would they, what would they
Exactly.
feel like? People need to show up for others. And I started making efforts. In fact, it's one of my goals this year to show up for my friends and to literally go out of my
Mm.
way. And somebody told me that, Brenda, I can see your efforts. I said, hey, thank you, Jesus. It really is something. And yeah,
Yes.
I like that you mentioned that.
Yeah, so and that is part of it. It might look trivial, like Hainala, how is that related to emotional intelligence? But it is
Mm.
emotional intelligence because if you need to understand that I need to do this for people, then they will do it for you in return. It's not in your expectation now. You're not doing it because you're expecting them to do it for you. That is
It may
the
be another
social
set of
skills
people
we're
that will
talking.
do it for you. It's not even
It's
your
exactly.
repayment does not have to be from the same people, self. Another set of people.
Exactly. It would be from another set of people. So it is important. And then, under the social skills, we have communication, paying attention to people's body language, tone
Mm,
of voice, being able
mm,
to express yourself clearly and respectfully. So if someone
mm,
is not interested in having a conversation with you, you need to first calm down and understand it's not
mm,
personal. Then maybe
mm,
this person is not just in a good mood. So instead of blaming yourself and saying, maybe there's something wrong with me, maybe there's something wrong with me, is why they don't want to talk to me, maybe there's some, no,
mm.
just calm down and understand that, okay, maybe this person is just in a good mood to talk. Let me leave you
Yeah.
alone. Do you understand? And then instead of saying, oh, I blame myself or whatever, say, oh,
Mm,
I feel hurt when you do this.
mm,
Instead of blaming them and saying, oh, you're always doing this, just say, see, babe, you know what? I like it when you tell me straightforward what I did wrong or what I'm doing right. It's
mm.
communication so that
Yeah,
everybody can be on the same page. Instead of just
absolutely.
saying, oh, you are doing this, you are doing this, you
I
are
know
doing this,
that
and the person doesn't even.
you are always, it is such an exaggeration. I don't know how somebody does something once or twice and it becomes you are always doing this. And I'm like, me, if you come to me at you're always, I shut down. Like, I'm not even hearing you again. Do you see? I'm not hearing. Just be going. Since you judged me, you are judge, you are jury, you've sentenced. What am I coming to answer you for now? So there's no point. Just be going. But if you come to me and ask, why is it that you do so? Because I feel some sort of way when we can have a conversation. Which one is you're always, well, just
Mhm.
pack yourself. I don't even have time.
You're always,
So I just
or
shut down.
someone that needs your
Hmm.
favor. Someone that needs your favor and you've not spoken to the person in 1 year. The person will just reach out and say, you don't even check up on me.
That,
And then after 1 minute,
oh,
now says, hey, please, sis, I think I need you to help me do this.
see that you don't check up on me, is a trigger for me. Like, don't even do it. You don't even understand what I have to do, all the things I'm having to juggle in the 24 hours of a day. Then you come to me that I don't check up on you. I say, if you want to talk to me, you to check up on me now. Do you understand? Eh.
I'm telling
You to check up on me now, Abi, is it one-sided? Unless you've honestly been checking up on me, oh, then I didn't answer you, then that's a different
you.
case. I will apologize. But sure, you will not just come from out of the woodworks after 1 year or after 2 years and come and tell me that I didn't check up on you. You won't like my response. I say, look, Holy Spirit is helping me. Oh, they should not come and spoil me back. Please.
You know, like it
They
happened
shouldn't
to me
return me back to where I
recently.
was
I
coming
was
from.
trying to I was trying to remember people that I wanted to do my wig and all. So I remembered one lady that did my wig for me like over 2 years ago. Then I just remembered that I've not spoken to her in almost a year. I felt bad. I'm
Mm.
like, okay, wait. Am I now going to call her and say, come and do my wig for me, even though I'm going to pay for it? I said no. So I just called her.
Business. It's
And
business.
the
Me, I don't have
emotion,
time.
the response she gave me was, hello. I said, okay, I just wanted to check on you because I had to understand immediately how she was feeling. Talking about
Mm,
business at that time wouldn't have gelled because I think,
mm,
she was just not happy. And it's so important to pay
mm.
attention to how people are feeling. So you don't
Thank
just
you,
jump
sister.
on it. And she'll now say, it's because of this you want to come and call me, Abby. I'm not doing. And
Yeah,
then it's now it'll be so messy. So it's important to understand how people are feeling,
yeah.
understand, deal with them accordingly so that
And
there's no
that thing you said about cues, paying attention to the cues is so important. A lot of us, when we want something, especially when we're reaching out because we want something, we're just like dropping all of those things, we go. And we don't remember that, we have to check with that person. How are they feeling? Sometimes some people will call me, I pick, and then I'm asked, they go like, you're not sounding upbeat. Is everything okay? And maybe I'm really
exactly.
tired on that day, and I say, oh, yes, I've had a long day. Thanks for asking. And I immediately get chippier. I immediately get, more upbeat because you have even, you know, noticed, and somebody has noticed. It's like an automatic response. I immediately just get more upbeat. I'm okay. Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up? Even though I was really tired and I picked the call. So, but I feel like some people don't even care. They just go right at you. Well, okay, I need X, Y,
It's
Z.
true.
And there's a delicate balance because sometimes you really don't know what the person is going through and the person does not communicate. So especially in these days of chatting, when you're chatting and you cannot feel somebody's voice, you can't feel anything. You are chatting to someone, the person is not answering you. You are chatting, oh, when he answer me now, we have work to do. What's going on? It happened to me and one of the people I do some work, one of my team members. I've been calling the guy. Calling. He wasn't picking my call. I was livid because the day before I'd asked him to do something. He had told me he was going to get it done. He was leaving the office. It was around 5:30. He was leaving the office when I asked him for it. It was something he was due from the
Mm,
weekend before. So I didn't have any sort of any feeling anyhow of asking him for it that 5:30. I'm like, oh, Benny, where's this thing? He said, oh, I forgot. I'll
mm,
get it to you this evening. Then when I get home, I'll just get on it immediately. I was this close to him. Can't carry that your bag down and get to me now. I just thought, okay, this evening is fine because I wanted to respond. I wanted to submit it by the next morning. My dear sister in the Lord, evening came and went. He didn't bring it. Morning came. You know how the Bible recounts the creation. And evening came and morning came. Morning came. I didn't say anything from this guy. Lo and behold, where I wanted to
wow.
submit it to, they now sent a reminder to say, oh, reminder about XYZ. My head was not busting because I was like, I needed this thing to submit it. And now I would look bad because I don't have it to submit. And meanwhile, I'd already, delegated it to you since Friday. We were talking on a Tuesday
Mhm.
morning now. So I was really angry. And I was trying to call him and his number was not connecting. I called and called and called, number not connect. Called his two numbers, not connect. And I sent him a message on WhatsApp on his two lines. And I got to
Mm,
our team WhatsApp group and I told the other partner to say, one of the other colleagues, I said, get on the phone and be calling this guy. I need this information right now. Wherever he is, I don't care. And I was just thinking of how I was going to look. I was yet to
mm.
give that feedback after so many days, and I was just feeling so bad. Lo and behold, he now finally picks his call and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Ma. And I was just weak. Like I had nothing
Wow.
else to say.
Mm.
But I did need the information. So I was like, you need to give me this information. Like, are you done now? Like, can we? Because I was in my mind, you knew you had an MRI today, right? You knew this when you
Mm.
told me you were going to give it to me last night. So
Yeah,
why
you
didn't you
should
give
have
it to me last night?
just.
Right?
Mhm.
Why didn't you? And if you
Why
found
did
you
you say
couldn't, why didn't you message me? Yeah. So I'm not trying to reach you now. You're not saying coming because an MRI is not an emergency thing, right? It's not like you just
it's
fell
not?
into something and then you
Mm-hmm.
were scared for it.
Exactly.
So you knew you had it the
Yeah.
next day. So I was like, I had to take a deep breath. I said, Brenda, calm down, calm down, calm down. After breathing, I said, okay, so I hope you're okay now. Are you fine? Are you done the MRI? I said, please, can I have the information now? Thank you very much.
No,
I said,
exactly.
I said, I said, you have the next 1 hour to get it to me, please, because this thing was due since. I'm sure you must have done it somewhere. Maybe you haven't sent it. Just get it to me. Thank you very much.
Mhm,
But I mean, I remember how I felt, while trying to
mhm.
reach him. I remember how I felt when I was like, "Ah, if I can get a hold of this guy now, he's not going to like me." But when he immediately said that he was just coming out of an MRI, I had to just calm down, breathe, and say, "Okay, don't be the evil, wicked, evil boss, and don't be the unfeeling
Honestly.
person." Because
Mm,
sometimes, yeah, work is the work is urgent, work is everything. But at the end of the day, human beings are human beings, right? And life is more important
yes.
than anything else. So when some people come to me like, oh, my child is sick, or oh, I have to go for this checkup. Oh, I mean, it is, it is, it is inconvenient, right? Nobody wants
Yeah.
anything that will stop the work, right? But it is what it is. If
It is
you're
what it
sick,
is.
we have to move on.
Mm,
We will have to understand with you, right? And the rest of us that are available do the work. So, I mean, that's the emotional intelligence involved. Unlike some bosses that would say, I don't care, get it done. That's all I want to know. I mean, I don't care what's going on with you, just get it done. It's your job. And so that's where
yeah.
emotional intelligence needs to be put in place. And that's where the empathy comes in, I think.
Empathy, yes, yes. And that's where the empathy comes in. But then, as we are talking, it just came to mind to mention that there's a balance. There's a
Mm,
balance between making sure they do what they're meant to do and still understanding the situation right now. So,
mm,
this guy that went for MRI, for instance, now, as an HR person, I would give him a query. Why?
mm,
It's not like I don't understand that you went for
mm,
MRI, but you should have given me a notice and said, I can't meet up, so you didn't do your job. So there's a balance. There's a balance between due
mm,
diligence. A friend of mine, let's say a friendship, for instance, that went about to say something negative about me and I heard, I'll not say I understand.
mm, mm, mm,
No,
mm,
I would forgive you, but I would still get angry at you, which is my emotions. And I'm still just
mm,
trying to let you know that you really shouldn't have done that. Now, a
mm.
lot of times people mistaking emotional intelligence for just being stupid and keeping
For
quiet
stupidity and being gentle.
and just be
Jesus
quiet
was
about
not
things. You just
gentle,
say,
no. Let's be clear.
okay.
Mhm.
Do you understand? So a staff of mine, you're supposed to submit a document by 12, and then you went offline till 7 p.m. and you're telling me you were offline or your phone was dead or something. Okay, that's not an excuse. You will collect the query. Oh. After which, I'll now ask you what exactly happened. You now say you were not feeling fine. I
Mm,
say, how are you feeling now? Do you need a day
mhm,
off or something? But you still chop that query because so that
mm,
next time they won't do it again because people still
mm,
also need to learn. So there's a balance. Emotional
mm.
intelligence does not mean I am stupid. Yes, I am aware of my environment, but I need you to also be aware of your environment and understand that things don't just fall off the face of from heaven and just fall on the ground
Yeah.
and then, oh, he's sick, let me just allow him. Allowing people is not emotional intelligence. Somebody behaving badly,
Mm,
and that brings me to the next one, handling conflicts. Somebody behaving
mm,
badly does not mean I'm just going to let it go. Do you understand? You need to
yeah.
apologize if possible, you know, ask for it to be done again. If possible, try to make up for what you have done.
Yeah.
Is in my own
Mhm,
place to emotionally, intelligently manage the situation, forgive you, and say, don't do that
mm,
again, but you have chopped that punishment. It is
yeah.
important. We shouldn't, it's a balance, really. It's a balance. And I just felt to say it because most times we just think, oh, when we hear emotional intelligence, it's for the person not to get angry. It's okay to get angry. There are different
Mhm,
stages of emotions, you know,
yeah.
that are always stages of emotions that we need to go through. So, for instance, something
Hmm.
happened to you something happened to you, you're not just saying, okay, I don't want to get angry. Some people start from denial, then they go to anger, then they
Mm,
start, having the conversation about it, then they move to depression, and then they move to acceptance. Do you understand? So you
mm,
need to go through all, if I always say it every single time, there's no way you are angry or something bad happens. You need to go through the
mm,
five emotions. Anxiety, like,
mm,
okay, somebody did something bad to you, and then you're hurt or you're disappointed, and you stop at the disappointment. The person will do it to you over and over and over again. But yes,
yeah.
you got hurt and the person apologized, or the person did not apologize, then, because if you're hurt, you're still in denial. You're still trying to understand why this person did this thing to me. No, he didn't do it. He didn't
Mm,
mean to slap me. His hand just mistakenly slapped me. And then the next thing you move to anger. You're really hungry. Like, I want to kill this guy. And then the next thing, after anger, both of you you're having conversations on it, like, okay, can we talk about this? Why do you
mm,
feel this way? Why did you do this? Okay, now I understand why you did this. Then some people, they enter depression. Like, depression is not the really,
mm,
it's not always the big thing. There's still the small depressions that are weighed
mm,
down, feeling like you're just weighed down. You're just wondering, why did this thing happen to me? And then you now move
yeah.
to called acceptance of, okay, this thing has happened. This thing
Mm,
has happened. There's nothing I can do about it. The only thing I have to do about it is manage my emotions and come out of it. So that is very key in handling conflict under emotional intelligence. You have to pass through all the stages of your emotions when you're angry,
yeah.
and then when there's a misunderstanding, you talk it out. You don't keep it inside. Women, we like to keep things inside until
Yeah.
it blows, and then you don't
Until
have
you
any
bust.
other way to
Then when
say it.
mm,
And
then when you
it leads
bust,
to
they will say
grudge.
you're a witch. Then
I am
when you bust,
telling
they say you're
you.
a witch. And because it's witchcraft for you to come
I'm
and
telling
blow,
you.
for you to
It's
bust a dam over a small tree. It is actually witchcraft. So why don't you keep on expressing yourself when
witchcraft.
it's still a little issue? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So it's important. So every time it happens, talk about it, clear your mind, be willing to apologize, be willing to understand how the other party is feeling. But if there are punishments that need to be vetted, please met the punishment. If they are reprimanding, reprimand the person. It's like children, for instance. Your child keeps
Mm.
misbehaving. Your child keeps, you say you're emotional intelligence in the child. What is emotional intelligence in children? I'll beat you first. I'll not call. Even the Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child. I will beat you first. I'll apologize later.
I was going to go there next, which is emotional intelligence in handling our family members. Because, part of the conversation today is a better relationship. I found that, you know, first of all, with spouses, a husband or a wife, we require a lot of emotional intelligence to be able to enjoy the relationship better. I'll take myself as an example. When I first got married to my husband, I had zero emotional intelligence, zero. Like, I was badly behaved that this man is a quiet man. He will do one thing like this. I will say five. Like, it was literally a case of kilagbe killage. I would just be going on and on and on. The guy would just look at me. He would just shake his head. He would carry his key and he would be going. So every time he would do that, he would carry his key. He would just drive out. So one of those days, and I said, "Come, when are you even always driving to say? Who are you going to go and meet? Oh, okay, so you have one baby. I'm going to meet somewhere that you're going. Okay, so me, I'm going somewhere. Oh, Jesus. As in even care about it now, I'm not very. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so like, what's going on with you? Like that is so. Many women are like that. I mean, I cannot believe I'm the only one that's
Mhm.
stupid. But many women are still that, and you have to get to the point where you must grow. All right, you must grow. You must do
Mhm.
better. You must get better and do better because if you don't, you can't expect any change. Now, when I was in that my state of madness, the man used to give me silent treatment a lot. because he couldn't fight. He was a lover, not a fighter. He doesn't know how to beat, he doesn't know how to slap, he doesn't know how to shout. He will just be going. So when he has nowhere to go, he will just sit there in the house and be looking at you like silent treatment. I me, I like to talk. So that was like the biggest punishment they could give to me. Like, don't talk to me. Hey God, people kill me. It was horrible. I can't even lie to you. It was a horrible time. But I learned very quickly, I mean, by the grace of the Holy Spirit, to regulate myself, regulate my emotions, and regulate my words, most especially. And then, I even got to the point I was able to speak instead of, just going on and on and on. I had to learn to swallow, calm. Well, when I could calmly
Mm-hmm.
express myself, now present my case and say, okay, this is what you did, I did not like. Because I found that I was always within my rights every time I spoke. But because of how I went about it, he wasn't listening, right? He would just switch off. I had a
Mm-hmm.
valid point. But I was going about like a mad woman, a market woman, nonetheless. So it was like, what is this? He was just like, can't deal with it, just walk away. So until I learned to calm down, so it was my father who even taught me. My father said, look, men are logical. There's no time for these emotions. You have to attack the matter with facts. Come to the table with your facts
Mm-hmm.
and in a dispassionate manner. Like, no, but you're not getting anywhere. Okay, practice with me now. Communicate my father. Oh Lord God. So I had to learn, how to make the case, how to, get first of all, calm down. I never responded in the heat of the moment anymore. In fact, what I used to do was I'll just take a deep breath, I'll count to five, and I'll tell myself that I'll do it this later when we're in the room, when we're alone, you know. And then
Mm-hmm.
when we were alone, time would have passed. I would be able to think about the
Yeah.
situation again and I'll be
How?
able to express myself calmly. I remember my father said, stick to the
Mm-hmm.
facts, not your emotions. Stick to the facts. This is what happened. This is what you did. This is what I did. And all of that. Stick to facts. Men are logical. They want to hear facts. They don't want to hear, I don't like, I was feeling. Feeling is not, does not, what did I do? And how do say the thing it is? And let it be
Exactly.
clear. That was what got me, that emotional intelligence that I grew as it continued to grow helped me to have a better relationship with my husband. I could now tell him what I felt. He could now self-correct. He would also tell me what he didn't like, and then I could also self-correct. And then we now started to have a better relationship. Before then, we were not talking. I was shouting, I was walking out, and we were just not communicating. And of course, when you don't talk about these things, nothing is better. So you now just wake one day, it's 10 years on, and you find you cannot even stand each other. That's what happens
Yeah.
because you never communicated what was wrong or right. Nobody told the other person what they didn't like. You were always just shouting, 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 shouting. And of course, shouting, nobody listens to shout. When your mother was shouting, did you listen to
Mhm.
her? I used to block my ear.
Never.
When my mother was like, I tuned off. Like I got so used to that when I got started working, I had a boss that used to shout. Everybody else in the office was so uncomfortable. We were so uncomfortable. I told them, I said, what's the right? I couldn't see any problem. Trauma had me used to shouting. So I was like, hey, problem? Okay, I would tune off. Just keep it going. And so I just think that from even with children, right? Emotional intelligence handling with children
Yeah.
is knowing how each child feels, how you cannot use one blanket situation against all of them. How this one receives information like this one you need to this one you need to talk small small. This one you need to coax. This one you need to explain. This I have a child that if you don't explain what you want to do, she's not doing it. Like she's not even moving. You have to give her advance notice. You have to explain it. Oh,
Wow.
so and tomorrow we're going to so and so place, and because I want to do this and this with that, she'll say, okay, all right. Where are we going? I'll say this. Where are we going? I'll tell her. What are we doing? Okay. She gets it. The next morning she's getting up, getting all her siblings ready. She's not saying, okay, we're going to so and so. Get up now. What are you still doing? She gets it. But if you come to her in the morning and say,
Mm.
everybody up, 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 go to XYZ place, she's like, we're going where? Why? Come. Or you change your schedule. Maybe we go to mass at 9 a.m. and you just come one day and say, today we are going at 7. She's like, why? What? She will just, and she will not move. There's nothing you will do. You will
Wow.
shout, you will move because she think her brain just
Okay.
can't process. that change quickly. And I used to get so frustrated, like, who is it? Because I'm a tenuous person, right? If you just say, hey, 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 ho, ho, I've changed course, I'm ready to go. I was like, whose child is this? Why are you so slow to move? Why? But I had to quickly
Honestly.
understand emotional intelligence, that's how she is, that's the person that she is, right? She's not me. She's not going
Mm-hmm.
to be spontaneous. Maybe she will get better, maybe more, a little more spontaneous time, but she was never going to be me. So take her for who she is and meet her at her level so that we can both improve our relationships and we are not always fighting and dragging others hair. When she gets it, this child is the sweetest and the best person to work with. Once she gets it. And I said, is that all it is for me to be explaining myself? Let's go now. Explain. So I'll explain this small, small, make sure that and give advance notes. That advance she just means. But I could never understand. My husband
Yeah.
can tell me now. You can come to Brenda. I have a visitor coming in 30 minutes. Do we have? I'd like to give them dinner. I will just get up. I'll just be
Yes.
active mode immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I've rustled up something. I thought I made it work. That my daughter. Ah, cuckoo kill her. It's not me. You know, so it took me a
Mm-hmm.
while to understand that people are different. And this is how emotional
Yeah.
intelligence helps you to build better relationships. Understand that nobody is you. Your friend is not you.
Nobody's
Your boss is not you. Your husband is not you. Your child is not you. You are each different.
you.
Understand yourself, understand the person, and understanding helps to build better relationships. Understanding helps you to
Right.
react better. Understanding helps you to expect them
Yes.
better, to understand them better, to make excuses for them better. And then all of us
Excuses
can
for
live
them.
together better. Right.
Better, yes, yes. And it's so important to know that without emotional intelligence, really, we can't really live a peaceful space together, both
Mm,
in marriage, in ministry, in friendships. And then I wrote a few things down that I wanted to share that I said how to apply emotional intelligence in our day-to-day life. You know, you already
yeah.
mentioned about marriage and children and all. So I wrote for marriage now, you have to practice and understand.
Mm,
Patience. You have to be patient with your husband, patient with your partner,
mm,
and understand your partner. Now, there's a part of understanding who your partner is. Like you rightly mentioned, you understood no matter how much you shout from now till next week, he's not going to move, he's not going to flinch.
the guy,
So,
the guy don't
continue
carry go.
that have been a useless, fruitless effort. Do you understand? And that's what
Mm,
some people are
mm,
doing. They keep the shouting going on that one day he will listen. He will not listen,
mm,
you
mm,
know. So
mm,
practice patience, practice understanding, then seek reconciliation over resentment. A lot of times
mm,
women tilt towards resentment, not reconciliation. So the guy did something bad, you went to fight him, he apologized. Instead of you to say, okay,
mm.
I forgive you, and honestly work on forgiving him, you are resenting him, you
Yeah.
are keeping it inside, you're keeping it inside. Say, well, you, if you can
Mm,
do this to me, and it's marriage is lifetime. So imagine you're keeping resentment 20 years later, 150 years later, when the children have gone, and you know,
you will
now say
die
it's my
young.
time, it's my time. That thing you did for me 20 years ago, I am going to repay you now. That's not emotional intelligence. Let it go. Emotional intelligence
Mm,
is simply understanding why people behave the way they do and just let it go. Then in
mm,
friendships, you have to always be an active listener, like I said, not hearing, listening, and offering your support. The time your friend
yeah.
comes to tell you good news is not the time for you to share your own good news or your bad news.
Mm,
It's not the time
mm,
for you to say, ah, why are you happy about this thing? Last year when I did it, this is nobody needs to know why you did it when it didn't work for you and all that. Support the
mm,
person, encourage the person, and who knows, it might work for them better than it worked for you. Then in the
yeah.
office, communicate effectively, handle conflict with grace. In the office, there's always going to be conflict, and that's why I mentioned the
Mm-hmm.
balance between being emotionally intelligent and still being the boss. There'll always be conflict. People will behave badly, but you need to handle it with grace. You need to be able to not take sides with people, take sides with, oh,
Mm.
this one is my friend. Why did you do this to my friend? You should be able to, balance things. That is what emotional intelligence does. And in ministry as well. We have communities like this
Mm.
and we have ministries. A lot of times we need to be
Mm.
conscious that we are leading with kindness. That thing is so
Yeah.
important. When you're leading a community, you have preference, you have favorites, you have the people that you are more drawn to than the others. And you have to be able to
Mm.
balance it, that even though I am not drawn to you, I still want to check on you. I still want to be kind to you. That is basically emotional intelligence, really. So
Yeah.
that it's not just the people you like. I've seen cases where they say, oh, pastors like this set of people, they don't like this set of people. And even if it's not true, it is what
Mm.
they have seen. And it simply means that the pastor is not doing a good job with emotional intelligence, because
Of
yes, even though you
keeping
like these
of
people more
keeping
than
everybody
you,
feeling. Yeah.
yes, you can't show it. People shouldn't see it, because you have to foster unity. That kind of thing causes what's it called, separation, causes diversity. Everybody is
Yeah.
doing their own thing. They say that one, that's pastor's favorite, or that's Brenda's favorite. At the moment she talks
Yeah.
on the beginning, like Brenda, you know, it happens to me that when on WhatsApp group, like maybe somebody is chatting, there was a time I started paying attention to it. There was one lady that every time I drop a comment, she will comment. But by the time she comments, I probably have moved on. So this babe thought I was actually angry with her, because she said, oh, I'll respond to every other person, I'll
Mm.
not respond to her. I had to like now start paying
Mm.
attention to every messages. So I'm like, even if I don't see it, I'll now go back, which is a lot of work for me though. I'll now go
Later.
back and reread
Mm.
and respond to everybody the same way. So I always tell people, see that you don't respond at all, or you respond to everybody the
Yes.
same way, so that this will not
Yes.
feel, oh, this one likes me more than this, or this one is cynical. Oh, I don't talk on this group because every time I talk, they don't respond.
They don't respond. I know it's difficult.
Yeah.
And it's really it's also that's where, as people, we need to build our own emotional intelligence to give no excuses for others. So while the leaders are doing what they're doing, you as a
Mhm.
follower must always understand that it can't be easy for this one person to respond to maybe 100 people, 50 people, 20 people, whatever, right? You need to understand that sometimes they may miss somebody else. It's not out of spite. And it speaks to where your head is at, it speaks to where your maturity is at, or where your personal development is
Mhm.
at, for you to be so confident that you know that, oh, don't worry, this thing is not a personal slight to me. The person is
Mhm.
possibly just busy. And if you find it happens once, twice, thrice, you can call the person's attention to it privately, not outside and say, oh, sis, I noticed that, anytime I message you, you don't respond to me. Did I offend you? And more often than not, you will get that, oh, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. I didn't notice. And the person will start to take
100%.
notice so life is not that hard, to be honest. It's not.
Not that
As
hard.
much as we can, we just need to understand for other people, because people are going through a lot. Everybody's going through their own a lot too. Everybody's going through their own a lot
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah,
understand
I'm
for people
going
and be
through a
kind.
lot of.
Be kind.
So basically, let me just conclude. I always like to ask self-reflecting questions, because one thing I
Okay.
found out is that we can hear all this. Oh, we can say, oh yeah, word, word, word. Oh, did you hear that? This,
Mm.
and then we go home and then we don't have a way of applying it to our lives, right? So I always like to ask self-reflection questions, so that you can go home and ask yourself and probably use it to get better at being emotionally intelligent, right? So the first
Yeah.
question I want to ask you is to go and write, as a listener now, how can I be more self-aware in my daily interactions? How can I be more self aware in my daily interactions? Be self aware of my maids, be self aware of my gateman, self aware of the security in the estate, self aware of my children, self aware of my husband. Like, your children are just in a mood and you're not aware of how they are feeling.
Mm.
It's a lot of work. So you need to ask yourself, how can I be? Should I take a step back? I usually say take a step back, step out of the situation, and just observe
Mm.
how things are going. That is one key way to be self-aware. Step out of the situation, assuming you're not the one in the
Mm.
situation. Just put yourself like the counselor that is counseling your home or your office or something, and see, okay, you did like this. Like somebody would say, you
Yeah.
that you slap somebody. If now you know, slap yourself. Put yourself
Mm.
in that person's position. This person blocked you. Why did the person block you? Now, if this person blocked me because of this, if not me, I no go block myself. Do you understand? Like
Mm.
if someone did this, if I did this to someone and person blocked me, if I did it to myself, won't I block myself? You have to put yourself in the position. So how can I be more self-aware in my daily interactions? Then the second question:
Okay.
what strategies can I use to regulate my emotions better? Now, could it be keeping quiet? Could it be not responding faster than I used to? Could it be analyzing and overanalyzing situations before I jump into conclusions? What strategies can I use to relate my emotions better? And then the last thing,
Mm.
how can I show more empathy to those around me? Even though, yes, you're already doing it, but how can I do it better? How can I do it more? Like you see someone
Mm.
hungry now, you have a plate of food, and something is telling you in your mind, drop that food, give this person the food. Do you do that, or you're like,
Mm.
well, everybody is hungry, we're all going through stuff? That food you might give that person can save the person's life. So how do you want to do that? So thank you for having me. In
Okay.
conclusion, be quick to
I mean,
listen, slow to
mm-hmm.
speak, slow to anger. God wants us to be emotionally intelligent, so please be emotionally
Yeah.
intelligent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's amazing how the Bible has all those tips already for you, and we don't even think about them very deeply. We just read it like we're reading a book. So thank you so, so much, Eniola. It's been a very interesting conversation today. Bumper conversation, actually. I mean, I have learned a lot, and even just taking down notes and all of that. I'm so grateful for you to come for coming out here today, especially on the public holiday when all I wanted to do was to sleep, literally. I don't know how you're able to pull yourself out of bed. I would have been sleeping all day. But thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I wish I I'm just glad that we were here, and shout out to all your community members that showed up for today's live. This session was brought to you by WGA. It's called Women's Matters, and we hold our live sessions every Tuesday by 7 on YouTube, same time, same channel. And we're basically talking about all things that concern women, all things that help you to be better and grow better in your love for God and in your own personal self-development. We are a community on WhatsApp, and you can join us by clicking the link in our Instagram bio. It's a free to join community for now, and we're loving up. We'll be happy to have you. Yes, so Precious says thank you to the host and guest. Thank you for coming. My guests, my attendees are saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And they really got a lot today. So thank you so much for coming on our program. We will come back to you some other time. You know me now, I will come and drag you again. You cannot say no
I
to.
know.
And she's a member of our WGA too. My precious sister.
Yeah.
We're together in COCI, we're together in WG. And I've also
Yes.
been on her community from time to time to share my knowledge as well. So we're just besties like that. So thank you,
Yeah.
Eniola. Thank you. I mean, today we're even twinning with our haircuts now. Come on now.
Yes. So you are one of the people that inspired me and Sunshine. Oh
So yeah,
God.
feeling the breeze now. I'm on this is the way
Ah,
to in this heat.
it
This
is.
is the
It
best way to
is. It is.
go.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for joining
much
us.
for
And
having me.
we celebrate you. Let me see if I typed your questions, and I'll put it in the comment in the description when I'm saving the live,
Okay.
so that those that watch later want to see and take those away with them. So thank you so much for coming, and have a blessed evening. See you guys same time next week Tuesday. And signing out. My name is Brenda Olu. Thank you for coming. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.